Hello again, and welcome to another Chobo Team League cast. Today we're going through my second match of Week 2, StratK Gaming versus Alloy eSports. This was played in Week 2 and is currently Week 4, so most of these were played 2 weeks ago. I allowed some time for other casters to catch up, as I am a community caster and not casting any of the games officially as listed. But it's been over 2 weeks. If any of these haven't been casted, they should have been. So I plan on casting them all. And as I may have said before in some of my earlier casts, I do plan on casting every single Chobo Team League game this year. It's my goal, and it'll allow me to get a lot of cool stuff done. Get a lot of good practice in for casting. So, our first game aim for this set is going to be the bronze/silver match between StratK Gaming's Sin and Alloy eSports' Heimdallr. As soon as I find this in my replays, we'll head right into it. Is on Altazim's stronghold. Sin being a Silver League player and Heimdallr being bronze. Anyway. Yeah, I know. If I can book beforehand, and maybe I will actually book 1 or 2 of them beforehand, but usually by the time I remember to look, they're already gone. Anyway, heading into our game here, as soon as I get the scene switched properly. Spawning in our lower right location, we have, playing for StratK Gaming, Sin as our purple Zerg player. And as our pink Zerg player, spawning in the lower left location, we have Heimdallr for Alloy eSports. Now, as usual, I don't know a thing about these players. I think I might have watched Sin in one other game. Pretty sure that Heimdallr wasn't the one I watched play. I think Sin did play one of the games last week for StratK that I watched, but frankly, it's been a while. It's been over 2 weeks since I cast that. And only one game? Not going to remember all that well. So we have one Overlord headed in the correct direction, and a drone headed in the wrong direction, and an Overlord headed in the wrong direction. So Heimdallr is going to find Sin before Sin finds Heimdallr. Sometimes that matters, sometimes it doesn't. It always matters if they're cheese. Anyway, these Overlords are going to meet, so pretty soon both players are probably going to know where they are. Yep, they can see each other. Their vision now just hit. They can see each other. Why do I know that? Too much habit. Want to see? See? You can see you can see you. Yeah, they're within vision of each other. So, at this point, our players probably know where each other are. Sin's spawning pool was considerably earlier. Oh, Heimdallr's. Sin, actually, with a delayed spawning pool, but not taking his natural right away. Interesting. But as far as we know, he is in fact a Bronze League player. Or was it Heimdallr? But anyway, they're both pretty new. He does take out this drone that had come in to scout. Nice little pickup for him. Both players with a bit of a bank going right now. Heimdallr with a natural on the way. That free natural you get on Altazim. Use up most of that bank. Where Sin, at the moment, is building a bank and putting down a baneling nest. Overlord scouting that there is not in fact a natural. We'll know that for sure quite shortly. Sin's Overlord. That's not quite envisioning that, is that? No, it is. Okay. So he does see the natural. We don't really see that much on the way for Sin at the moment, other than that Baneling nest, and he finally has added on his natural, as well as a number of lings and speed being just about done. So he is going to have a much faster speed, but Heimdallr already has a Roach Warren halfway done, and he just lost an Overlord, so he's supply blocked again. Over here, this Queen took out his Scouting Overlord. Isn't quite quick enough to get it. And this Scouting Overlord still sitting there, nothing bothering it. But Sin's sending a number of speedlings across the map, and this might be good for him. Those speedlings, they might well have not much to oppose them, especially, morphing in a few Banes. That Roach Warren earned for Sin about halfway done. Heimdallr does have a Roach Warren, but no roaches on the way, just speed and numberlings. There's one roach on the way now. But with no Baneling nest and Banelings to contend with, and speedlings versus his not speedlings, this might not go very well for Heimdallr. The Banelings don't get the best of connects though, and it looks like Heimdallr is going to be able to clean this up, even with just slow lings, or at least force them away. Pretty even exchange, but Heimdallr is up 6 drones, so I'd have to give the edge to him at this point, especially with the earlier Roach Warren as well. And there's those roaches and a few lings to come out to clean out those few remaining lings from Sin. Sin bring the rest of his lings home after that. In the meantime, the first few roaches are now on the way for Sin. Heimdallr getting another gas, getting some more queens, going for extra queens. Queens are a pretty good unit, especially when you're defending. It looks like he thinks he's ready to move out now. Zergling speed having completed for him. Ling's waiting for those slow roaches to catch up. Roaches without speed, not very fast. So the roaches and lings find roaches and lings to fight with. Sin morphing in some banelings. Otherwise, just holding as a ram. Looks like Heimdallr is going to back off for the moment. In the meantime, Sin is mostly caught up with the drone count. Both players with pretty massive banks at this point, but Sin's is smaller. He's a little bit better at spending his money. Heimdallr with a massive 1,500 minerals in the bank right now. However, he might well be trying to save that up for Muta, as his first Mutalisk is now on the way. Well, not quite his first, as he did have one, so second. But he has finished Spire, Mutalisks on the way, whereas Sin has chosen to go for Hydralisks, rather than Muta's 6 Hydras on the way. Considering it's 2 base versus 2 base, the edge might well go to Sin for the moment. Lings find Lings. One lone Baneling. Oh, there are two Banelings kind of hanging out in the middle of this group. Excuse me. And one of the Banelings going down for free. Another of the Banelings getting a pretty decent connect, actually. But Sin's still choosing to back off, even though he probably has the superior force, honestly. But he is taking a third behind this, as is Heimdallr, a bit of a ninja third, taking it over here instead of in the little nestled location. I think it would be a little easier to defend. Sin's force is getting a pickup of a few lings that were sent up to scout. Resources lost pretty even, and Sin now with an 8-drone lead. And a significant army lead. He's looking just plain to be in the lead. A lot of that probably comes down to the bank. You look at Heimdallr's minerals, nearly 3,000 in the bank. Sin gets an Overlord for free. Right, continues to leave his army just sitting in the map and getting map control. Lings and Mutas and Roaches coming in, and a lot of Lings dying. Sin continuing to take the better of engagement after engagement. Lings and Mutas trying to come again. A ton of Lings go down to 1 Baneling. And everything else that's there. You do see an infestation pit about to finish up for Sin, well as +2 attacks, +1 being already done. +1 on attacks. X about to finish up for Heimdallr, as well as +1 fire attacks just starting up. Another free Overlord for Sin. And this army continues to slowly move its way across the map. Pathogen glands coming down for Sin, so he's obviously planning on adding in some infestors to his mix. Not sure if the game will even get that far, though, as Simply has the better army. However, this ramp gives Heimdallr a much better concave. Both players backing off for the moment. Heimdallr deciding to engage this army out in the open. That's not a good idea. Sin's army being much superior out in the open when he doesn't have the advantage of that concave, and he does decide to back off. Heimdallr continuing to add in mutas, and Sin continuing to add more and more hydras. in an open battle, this is really going to go Sin's way. Heimdallr needs to start harassing with those mutas and using some of that massive mineral bank. Sin is actually building up a decent mineral bank at this point as well, but 4,000 minerals. Army's continuing to posture out here. And again, he's engaging up into this concave, but he does have Hydra range, so as long as he gets one roach up there, the Hydras have the range to deal with anything up there. And that allows him to breach that and finally get into the base. Queen goes down like nothing. The Mutalisks are starting to fall, as Hydra is just being too much for them, especially with that +2 attack. The lair falls, and that's GG. So Sin takes our first game for StratK Gaming, putting the score at 1-0.